When most people think of the word reverb, they think of it in context of audio engineering. So they're thinking of something like a reverb pedal, a reverb plug-in on your DAW, or maybe even a reverb spring tank, or if they worked at a studio, a reverb plate. But in actuality, reverb is short for reverberation, and it happens naturally. It's just an effect of physics, the physics of sound waves. The best definition I've heard of reverb is it's the sound created by the complex interaction of sound waves reflecting off of multiple surfaces. The operative words there being complex, multiple, and surfaces. By going from there and up in the ceiling and then all the way around, it's traveling a long distance in sound depending on the temperature, depending on the barometric pressure, and depending on a few other factors. The speed of sound is roughly 343 meters per second. So it's traveling a lot more than that around here. So it's going to be a pretty big reverb in here. And that's what I'm going for. I'm going for a big reverb. Now gyms normally are terrible for reverb because you get what's called flutter echo. But luckily, we have sound deadening stuff. Now you might notice some of this padding on the wall. That's for a few reasons. It's actually because this room right here, this gym, had such bad acoustics that they had to put up some of these pads up. So that's foam there, foam, and also the ceiling. I don't know if you noticed, that's acoustic paneling as well. That's on purpose because this is a children's gym. This is going to get loud in here, and they had to put up some acoustic paneling because it was so loud in here. The reverb was so bad in here that it was just deafening. One of the guy that works here, Cesar Ortiz, he was telling me that during children's basketball games, they had to tell the parents, "Listen, we're not yelling at your kids. We just need to make sure that they hear us because over the sound of this, the reverberation that's going on in here." Also, I noticed that there is some was it crown molding around the top. Apparently that helps with what's it called? Flutter as well. I don't know if it actually does, but that's what I was told. I want to show something about the amps I'm using. So yeah, the Bugera, that's what I'm getting some low mids from. Zero bass, zero treble, just some low mids. This Seismic audio cab, which has 2 AlNiCo and 2 ceramic speakers in that I changed out. That's being fed by this Bugera T50. It's a Vox-based amp. Now, as you notice, there's no microphones in front of it. I didn't use microphones for the specific purpose that I knew that they would also get some of the room reverb as well. So what I did is instead I'm using this IR box on top, and that's, like I said, on purpose for multiple reasons. One, listen, using an IR box is so much easier than miking, but also, once again, I'm going to be getting a purer tone. So there's going to be no room reverb through the IR box. That's just, going direct from the amp to the mixer. And same thing with the M80. That's the reason why I'm using the M80, because it's going to be going direct. There's going to be no reverb in that. Now,
reverb doesn't normally work with bass. They normally don't put reverb on bass because the bass frequencies seem to be accentuated more than the treble frequencies in a natural reverb setting. But luckily, I can work with that. If you notice, this M80 preamp, which I'm using for the main dry signal for the bass, has a few outs. This is the main out to the amp. That is an XLR out to a mixer. But this one right here, that's a parallel unaffected out. And the reason I'm using that is because I can then take that line, which once again is unaffected, and send it to the front of this Bugera amp. And now let's look at the preamp side of it. The bass is at 0. The mids are at 12. The mid selector switch is at 450 Hertz. The treble's at 0. So what I'm doing is, instead of running bass through here, I'm actually running just low mids. And that's, once again, completely on purpose. I don't want any real low frequencies going through
the air. I only want the low frequencies going through the mixer. So the XLR output is actually going to the mixer. So you'll be able to hear some nice low end, but there's not going to be any low end going through the air. Now let's look at the microphones. Now normally for something like this, you'd want something like a Royer like SF24, or maybe you'd want, like, you know, a pair of Neumann 83s. Well, I looked at my bank account and I realized I'm going to go with a condenser microphone I borrowed from my buddy, and over there is another condenser microphone that I own, and that is a Behringer C1, a $50 microphone. Hey man, it works. Now this one right here, I have this one pointed at the speaker setup, and that is exactly 3.43 meters away from the speakers. So that's more like a room sound kind of microphone. And then over here, which is 17.15 meters away, I have the Behringer C1 condenser. And now I have that one actually pointed towards, us, but I'm also going to try it pointed away. Just looking at the waveform there, it's a big long tail. It's actually at least 2-second tail right there. And keep in mind, this is a gymnasium. Let's do one more hit with the air horn just to really hear it. And this time I'm going to do a longer hit. I heard at least a 3-second tail there. I'm looking at the waveform. That's a 3-second tail. That's not bad for a gymnasium. Now let's do a hit with the air horn, but the main reverb mic, which is the one way down there, I have that turned around so it's facing the wall now. From what I've been told by some audio engineers, by having your reverb mic face the wall, it makes it sound bigger, and having it face the sound source makes it sound smaller. So we're going to hit that with the air horn now just to see what it sounds like. Let's do it one more time, but this time longer. Still, I'm amazed just how good this room sounds for a gymnasium. There is a touch of flutter, but it almost sounds like a delay. Seriously, the what they've done with the sound editing material here really worked wonders. Let's hear just the 3 lines together. All right, now let's mix in the 2 room microphones. One, once again, is pointed directly at the cabinets, and then the second one is pointed at the wall. So the one that's pointed at the cabinets is exactly 3.4 meters away, so that's 1/100th of a second. And then there is one down there. That is 1/20th of a second down there, and it's also pointed at the walls to get the reverberation off the walls. Let's hear everything together. Now, I don't have any reverb going on the amp or any reverb pedals, but I do have some delay pedals. And let me tell you what, everything together sounds fantastic. Let's put in some delay in this too.